All right, welcome everybody to the show. How is everybody doing out there today? All right, looks like we are good to go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. As always, here at Perfect Soulmates. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Welcome everyone to a new Perfect Soulmates show. The reason for this extra show, aside from the Friday weekly shows, is because we reached another 10 new subscribers. So congrats to everybody for subscribing and for spreading the word about this channel. Now, for those of you who are new, be sure to read my book and watch my video course. The link is below. Today's topic is how to fix conflicting personalities. I'm going to be giving you everything straightforward this time. I will be listing the most common conflicting personalities, my choices of course, along with all the solutions side by side. Very easy, nothing complicated today. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, shall we? Oh, by the way, I have to comment, I don't actually do this at all, but I have to comment on this image right here. I chose this for a reason. This is not happiness. And unfortunately, this is the reality for many, many couples out there. Just glued to their devices, whether it's a smartphone, a tablet, TVs on the wall, you name it. And then they're busy with busy lives, dual working relationships, that sort of thing. Maybe family with their kids, juggling their own families on the side, the families they grew up with. It's just pure chaos. So this is what it's all about. It's about conflicting personalities, what it takes. Not enough time to get extremely in depth with it because that would take really hours to explain. That's why I wrote a book and created a video course. But to briefly go over a few different types of personalities, this right here is a really great image because this is exactly the modern day conflict. It's almost as if it's a universal personality at this point. And it's not really an addiction to electronics, but for many it is. It's just trying to do too many things at once, multitasking, and instead of focusing 100% focus on your relationship. Prioritize. So that's the problem. Okay, so number one, a boring personality. Realize that anyone could call you boring. This is highly subjective. Jealous people, angry people, unintelligent people, and ironically, even boring people can call you boring. All that matters in the end is what you think about yourself, think about your partner. So, are you truly boring or not? I mean, I started off really easy because this is the least of anybody's worries. If you run into boredom, it's perfectly fine. It's not the end of the world, right? So we're going to get right into it. Let's go ahead and get into boredom. Now, solutions to boredom. When someone is boring in a relationship, or even both of you, it means they need to master sexual techniques. That should be very exciting. That's a real important cornerstone right there. Be more enthusiastic in general, improve their physical fitness, level of intelligence, or be more adventurous in every way possible. We need excitement in a relationship in order for it to work. They need to be daring and passionate about life. If it applies to one or both partners, it doesn't matter. This is the solution to boredom. It's not that hard. Okay, so number one, lighten up. It's not the end of the world. I mean, boredom, even kids get bored. It's fine. It's perfectly normal. It's not the end of the world. You're just missing some things. This should actually be exciting because if you're feeling bored all of a sudden, it's nothing to be angry or upset about, or depressed about. Just find out what's missing in the moment. Maybe it's something long-term, maybe it's something short-term, but something's missing. And there's a lot of easy solutions. So here's some recommendations. Change your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is your everyday life, day in, day out, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. It's the whole thing. Make some positive changes. Learn something new, for instance. Avoid the same conversations with your partner. It's so easy to end up talking about all these other people in your life, and you guys don't even barely talk about yourselves. Or you guys are always talking about yourselves, and you don't really talk about other things in life. I mean, it's inevitable. You're going to be talking about other people and about yourselves, but try to expand your horizons in the field of conversation with your partner. That's what I'm trying to get at. It takes creativity, it takes enthusiasm. All right, so also be more appreciative. Just because you're bored, maybe you're just not really appreciating the beauty of being tranquil in a tranquil environment. I'm talking about tranquility. Be thankful for that. A lot of people, they don't like it too silent, their living environment, or, they don't like it too noisy, too hot, too cold. I get it. But, just at least be appreciative of what you have and the opportunities that you have ahead. If you don't know what those are, then this is a perfect time to identify those opportunities ahead. All right, so speaking of opportunities, create immediate plans in order to squash the boredom that you're feeling right now. Now, a lot of people might not take boredom seriously. It could be a serious condition because that's called monotony. I mean, it's just pretty mundane. It's just mediocre. It's a feeling that you're not satisfied in life. And I mean, but it's not a competition to say, okay, every single second of my life has to be exciting and riveting, at the edge of my seat. No. That's an anxious life. You don't want that type of lifestyle. But you should have things that you look forward to. But these are reasonable things. So if it's going to the gym or working out at home every day, that should be exciting. If it's not exciting, if it's boring, fix it. That's what this stream is all about. You have the power to fix these things. Every day is an opportunity to do something positive, to change something. That's what I said here. Change your lifestyle with positive changes. Set exciting future goals. You should always have something to look forward to. However, don't live in the future either, because then you're going to create anxiety and you're not going to care about you have to live in the present moment. So as you can see, boredom, having a boring personality is one thing, but to experience boredom is completely natural. It's expected once in a while. It just means you need to make a change. But if somebody's really boring to you, or you think that you are boring yourself, you just have to make these small little tweaks and changes to your personality. It's for the better. And it's a big red flag if you're going to get involved with somebody intimately in a serious lifelong relationship when they say, well, I'm not changing. Be very careful with somebody who says those words and they're very serious about it. Because in a successful relationship, a lifelong relationship, you must be willing to adapt to each other and make positive changes, especially to your personality. Because if you're conflicting in the area of conflicting personalities, this is going to be a huge problem. It's like a little snowball at the top of the peak of the mountain. What happens to that snowball the further down it rolls? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? We all know the snowball effect. It might start out with being boring, and then later on it's mediocre, and then it leads to cheating on each other or arguing about nothing and all sorts of negative, horrific scenarios. And we don't want that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and leave boredom right here where it is. Boring personalities. This is like the novice level, number 1, right? Okay. I could talk a lot more about boredom and having a boring personality, but for the purpose of this stream, let's go ahead and proceed, okay? All right. I mean, you just need some passion in your life. There's a lot more worse things than boredom, trust me. Number 2, a defensive personality. Oh my goodness, this is everywhere. Especially these days. It's so chaotic. Everybody's fighting about anything and everything. Always defensive, always ready to argue. Where are the innocent discussions? Where are the peaceful discussions, online especially? If you simply state something online, if you compliment somebody, if you say something's beautiful or what you did today and you're happy, there's always going to be someone out there, most likely, who's going to try to shoot you down, crabs in a bucket, right? And they want to bring you down with them. And then so that makes you get all defensive. No, it's okay. You can either ignore them, right? But I'm talking about offline mainly in a real relationship. You know, if you're always defensive or your partner's defensive or you're both defensive, then something needs to happen in a positive way. Changes need to be made. So, a defensive personality, you tend to take almost everything personally. You think everyone is out to get you. You're always on the defense, ready to attack someone for what they said instead of thinking about it first. You don't know how to take it easy. Just take it easy. It's okay. All right? It's again, it's not the end of the world. It's how you handle events in your life and interactions that matter. It's how you handle it. That's what being mature and intelligent and wise is all about. It's a combination. So, where every action has consequences or productive results. But if you're always defensive, you're not going to realize the power of positivity and positive change in your life, especially if you're in a relationship, which is what this is all about. When someone is defensive in a relationship, it means they need to learn how to relax, stop being overly dramatic. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this. Think of better ways to solve problems. Only listen to productive advice. Avoid destructive criticism. There's always going to be somebody who hates you or hates what you do. They don't like they don't like how you do something or what. But we're talking about in a relationship. This could be a huge red flag that you guys need to work on. You guys have to create a peaceful living and working environment. So when you're off to work, whatever is in your capability of making your work environment as peaceful as possible, because the last thing you want to do is take all that stress back home with you. So you get all stressed up and worked up at work, and then you come home to your partner and you just completely vent yourself, maybe even not knowingly. You're completely unconscious of it, and suddenly you find yourself taking out all of that work stress out on your partner. It's horrible. Even kids do this when they go off to school. And then they come back because they're stressed because maybe they failed an exam and they don't want to tell the parents about it. Whatever it is, or there's a bully at school. They end up taking out the anger on the parents. I mean, the love and care has to be there in a family scenario, in a relationship scenario. So here's the solutions that I'm providing to defensiveness, which is having a defensive personality. Learn to trust others. Not everyone is your enemy. Like I said, not everybody's out to get you. Slow down. You're most likely under too much stress. I don't know what it's about. You have to find out for yourself. There's a lot of cases, a lot of possibilities. Find time to relax. Either meditate, breathe. Learn to let go. Just let go. Because it's not worth it, right? You're risking your physical, mental, and emotional health over what? Because if it's going to be chronic stress, that's going to age you very quickly. That's going to be very detrimental to your overall health. And it's not going to solve anything. It's going to make a bad situation worse, right? All right, so learn to have peaceful discussions. Avoid violent debates. I always tell people, stop debating each other. All you're doing is you're going to scream your points out loud. You're going to try to force the other person to believe what you have to say. And that's all it is until it ends. It's just nothing but stress. Instead of having a peaceful discussion, well, okay, I think this way. So in a relationship, you have to have peaceful discussions. No, debating is not how a relationship works. There's not even friendly debates. In fact, anything debate related is save it for the politics, but not in a relationship. But because that's antagonizing, it's conflicting, it's useless. It's only destructive in every sense of the word. Develop a positive mindset. Be more humble and wise. Because this is a problem, always being defensive. That means that you're not at peace with yourself. Inner peace, nothing. You're mentally unstable, emotionally unstable. You can see why this is a big problem. Always being on the defense. And some people grew up with abusive families, and I understand, but it's time to change. You're no longer in that abusive environment. Or you had a failed relationship and now you're in a new relationship and you're taking out your past on your new partner and you're all defensive because you're scared that your new partner is going to betray you just like your previous one, or it's all going to go south, it's all going to fail. I mean, all this anxiety and worry has to end. That's what I mean by humble and wise. and a positive mindset. Give everybody a clean slate, even if it's acquaintances and friends. If they betray your trust, then so be it. But I'll give them the opportunity, right, to prove themselves to you. Realize that arguing will only make a bad situation worse. Never argue. Argue is just being out of control. I can understand if you lose it. If you lose it, just don't lose it that badly, right? You're not doing extreme harm to somebody else. If you vent your frustrations on somebody and they actually deserve it, so be it. That's your call. I'm not going to control you there. I don't seek to control anybody. You have the freedom to argue with whoever you want. If you have to put somebody in their place because they made you feel a certain way, that's fine. That's fine. That's your choice. And you could be as aggressive as you want as long as you don't physically harm them. Right? Focus on resolving problems in the easiest possible ways. Okay? So be a problem solver, not a troublemaker, and don't make a bad situation worse. You guys get the gist. Okay? Defensiveness is all about always being defensive. For instance, you can misunderstand what people are saying. Maybe they're saying, hey, I thought you did a good job on this. And then you might say, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say this? No, they just said you did a good job. Calm down. They're not thinking about, they don't have a hidden agenda. You'd be surprised how many people think this way. I think everybody at one point in their life, especially in the teenager years, they grew very skeptical about other people's opinions and what they thought about, offering critique versus advice. I mean, it's all about having tact. You got to be very careful how you give advice to other people. Don't be offensive. Don't be all, okay, I'm just going to critique them and I'm not going to provide any advice and be nice to them. Just be gentle. People have feelings, okay? I know we have to have thick skin, but the world already requires enough thick skin as it is. We shouldn't require even thicker skin for the people that supposedly say that they care about you, right? Like friends and family members, and especially in a relationship. So creating that peaceful and working and living environment is a must. With the defensive personality, you need to become at ease as much as possible. It's all up to you. Your partner can try to help you out, and, goodness help you both if you guys are both defensive with defensive personalities. That's not a good mix. That's constant arguing 24/7, even waking up in the middle of the night to argue about something ridiculous. It happens. There's people living really bad lifestyles. So being on the defense, ready to attack somebody, even your own partner, that is not a good idea. So let's go ahead and move on, because I can talk forever about that one as well. Defensive personality. Number 3, a pessimistic personality, especially these days. What am I going to do? Nobody loves me. I'm not good at anything. Life is so depressing. Oh my goodness, it's everywhere. It's overwhelming at times. I mean, people are really beat down these days, and a lot of it's justified, but you can't live like that, especially if you're in a relationship, because you have to build that relationship. You have to maintain it, sustain it, develop it, master it, perfect it. All right, so pessimistic personality. People who think the world is going to end at any time, today, tomorrow, yesterday, last year, next year. They are almost always depressed, scared, anxious, worried, panicking about the smallest things. They doubt their own capabilities. They always put themselves down. They lack motivation, for crying out loud. So, let's go ahead and take a deeper look at the pessimistic personality, shall we? When someone is pessimistic in a relationship, it means they need to strengthen their mind, body, and emotions with the power of positive thinking once again. When I say positive thinking, you should take that very seriously. It's not just a catchphrase, a catch term. They need to learn how to enjoy everything beautiful about life. There's so many beautiful things about life itself, and especially about love. If you're in a relationship, you have an opportunity every single day you wake up to make it the best relationship, that you can maximize your relationship. That's what perfection is all about. That's why I say perfect soulmates, not just soulmates because you think you've been together for 40 years, 30 years. Oh, we're just automatically soulmates. No. No, it's something you feel deep within your heart, and what? That's right, deep within your soul. Otherwise, they will always focus on the negative if you don't focus on the beautiful parts of life. So, a pessimistic personality, let's look at the solutions that I'm providing here. Stop watching bad news, okay? I mean, I used to grow up watching CNN and Fox and all that. It doesn't matter, conservative, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which. It's all bad news. You can go ahead and watch some highlights or read the newspaper if people still do that on their smartphones, whatever it is. But that's it. Just get the headlines and get back to your life, because guess what? Every year is going to be bad news. It's just going to create pessimism, depression, anxiety, worry, everything. Stop watching violent movies. It's all over Netflix, for example, in general. Even superhero movies are all violent. There's no more beautiful stories like romance stories, comedy, adventure, like, Indiana Jones. Okay, it has some violence, but for the most part, you gotta be forgiving with Hollywood creations, right? Anyways, harness the power of hope. A person who loses all hope is somebody who's gonna always be pessimistic and living in doubt and worry constantly. And it's not attractive. It's a destructive behavioral characteristic. It's a destructive personality to have a pessimistic personality. You're destroying yourself and you're trying to destroy others, maybe not even intentionally. It's just the way you are. You're bringing everybody else down with you. Maybe that's not your intent, but that's what's happening because it's contagious behavior. That's why I'm going over different types of personalities to look out for. Okay, so learn how to be optimistic. That's what you're missing, is optimism. Build your self-confidence. For example, strengthen your body by exercising. Go to the gym or work out at home. Lift some weights. Do some cardio. You don't have to do hours and hours of exercise, but it should make you feel good. That's how you know you're doing the right exercise, whether it's basic calisthenics like push-ups, or pull-ups or partial pull-ups. There's a lot of assist here. If you can't do a single pull-up, you can buy one of those bands that helps you do one. I mean, get creative. Don't say that you can't, because that's being pessimistic. Be brave. Create positive change. There's that positivity again. And stop worrying about the future. That's your problem. You're worried about this is going to happen. Maybe you have kids in your relationship, or maybe you're worried about your relationship itself, or maybe you had a failed relationship. Now you're worried about your future relationship, and you're not even in a relationship right now because you're so pessimistic. And you're so doubting about your new potential partner. You don't even want to have a friendship with the opposite sex because you're nervous about that. So you have two choices. Either you go down or you go up. You go forward or you go backward. You're going to remain stagnant? No. You progress or you never progress. And you just burn down with the ship, right? Start living in the present moment, people. I mean, if the shoe fits, if you have a pessimistic personality, even a partially pessimistic personality, you got much to work on. So I'm going to have to leave it at that as far as the pessimistic personality, because if you're going to be pessimistic, you're focusing on the negative. It's time to focus on the positive. And even if your life is at the worst you can possibly imagine right now, if you're feeling like you have no hope whatsoever, that's your problem, and that's what needs a solution. So just start by saying, even if you don't even believe the words that are coming out of your mouth, at least try. Say, you know what? It's not that bad. I'm awake. I'm standing on my 2 feet. I can do this. Learn to talk to yourself. It's not psychotic. It's called self-talk, right? Self-motivation. Now, I'm not saying talk to yourself all day, but you have to have positive thoughts about yourself. And it's called manifestation, right? It's not 100% proven, but the more positive you refer to yourself and your capabilities, the more opportunity is going to present itself. Because you're starting to learn how to see the opportunities by being more optimistic and positive. All right, so number 4, and this is going to include everything else that's negative, an offensive personality. Whether it's being condescending, insulting, disrespectful, neglectful, controlling, manipulative, careless, aggressive, abusive, overly dramatic, argumentative, violent, dangerous, treacherous, deceiving, compulsively lying, or unfaithful. Nothing but constant torture to yourself and to your partner. This is talk about conflicting personalities. Now, you're going to ask me, is there a fix for all this? I mean, these extreme personalities? No. It's game over, because that's all they're going to be doing is playing games with you. So, here's my solution, if there is any. When someone is offensive, highly offensive in a relationship, it means they lack maturity, wisdom, and intelligence. They need to either change for the better right away, starting now, or the relationship is simply over. Now, of course, if they are unfaithful, abusive, violent, or dangerous, then it's a failed relationship. Because now your life is in danger. Your mental, emotional, and physical well-being even. So just be very careful. And guess what? It's not like you meet the person in this condition. Usually they develop this condition over time, this negative personality. Usually it happens for all the wrong reasons. It's just a series of unfortunate events that can occur in either your life or both of your lives in a relationship. So a couple's health depends entirely on how you choose to handle your personalities. It's so important. I can't emphasize that enough. And here's the way I really see personalities. Like a bunch of keys. Will it open the lock? Will it ultimately solve everything? Like, are you the master key? Because you both have to be master keys to each other's locks. All right, so there are many different personalities out there. The goal is to make sure your personality and your partner's personality are both fully compatible. I didn't make a mistake there. I said fully, completely compatible. There's no room for error or excuses when it comes to a successful, lifelong relationship. That's every day of your life from this point forward, including yesterday and then the past. However long you've been with your partner, it's all inclusive. If you've made previous mistakes, it's time to stop making those mistakes or any other kinds of mistakes. And if you're going to quickly say nobody's perfect, that's your problem and you will fail down the road. I can guarantee you that. As soon as you say that nobody is perfect, that's when you're going to guarantee you're going to fail in the future with your partner. You have to say to yourself and mutually say together as a couple, we're going to work on our relationship and we're going to perfect it. It's going to be absolutely perfect. We're going to live our dreams, your dreams, my dreams, our dreams together. We are the perfect team. We are unbreakable. If you don't have that attitude together, you're not going to make it. And I always bring up the case of the Olympic athlete. Now, let's say the gymnast goes into the Olympics and says, I don't know, coach. I don't know. Nobody's perfect. The coach is going to laugh at you and say, excuse me? We've been training years for this event. And you're all of a sudden going to pull that out of the hat and say that, well, nobody's perfect. And you're going to go up there and give a mediocre performance and miss out on winning that gold medal that you've always desired all your life. You're going to honestly let your coach down, which is representing your partner in this type of analogy, right? And you're going to let yourself down. That's not a team player, people. It's perfection or nothing. Yes, you can be perfect. You, as a person, as a human being, as perfect as possible. And as a couple, you both can be as perfect as possible. But if you don't believe it, you'll never achieve it. And that's precisely why so many people say nobody is perfect. Because they don't care about achieving such a state of perfection. They don't know what it means to feel like they're on the top of the world. And when you taste the most beautiful food, you're like, oh my goodness, it's so perfect. Or when you drink that beverage and you're like, wow, it's perfect because I can't even recommend anything to make it even better than that. That's perfection. You're at the tip of the mountain and there's nowhere else to go. Unless you can fly, of course. Who knows? Maybe you can, but don't try it. Not my advice. All right, so that's pretty much all I have for you guys out there. I really wanted to cover conflicting personalities, but also to remind you that not every personality is compatible. It's just like sexual compatibility. Either you guys have something to work with and you can make it work, or it's just simply not going to work. So don't do like the Vietnam War and say, okay, are we going to continue on with this mess and hope for the better? No, if it's not working, it's not working. You guys are not compatible, and maybe not in any way, not sexually, not personality-wise, just not in general, lifestyle choices and desires. And if you guys aren't compatible, look, the stronger the love, the more you guys are going to adapt to each other and make it work. But if the love is not that strong and you guys can look each other in the eye and say, you know what, I think we both know where this is going. Because she doesn't have it in her, you don't have it in you. You guys, if it's the end of the road, it's in the end of the world. Not the world, but end of the road. Just simply let it go. Learn to just don't make each other's lives miserable. If you guys both don't, you guys haven't fallen in love with each other that deeply, it's not going to work. That's why I say true love. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys. So, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Most likely a Friday weekly show, or if we get another 10 subscribers, an additional extra show. So, much love, everybody.